Hello, so this is my presentation on witchcraft, religion, and misogyny. The time period was 16th to the 17th century, and just a little background about it. According to the video 11 Myths About the Salem Witch Trials Leading to the Witch Tribes, they were refugees fleeing because of the war going on between England and France, and then due to this, locals and refugees fought over resources. So as you can see, it was just kind of like a constraint of resources because of these refugees, and they were already like kind of moving toward it, and they're already on rocky grounds. So just imagine when they got there, it was just the locals were fighting over the land, or the refugees were fighting because they were fleeing. So it was just a little tough. Themes related to this: the Salem witch trials were a result of religious belief fears. Mostly women were accused and executed, and people accused of committing witchcraft were accused. So basically, it was like a religious belief that basically committing witchcraft, like the third bullet point said, that it was demonic, and whoever they thought did it, or like they was accused, would be the ones to basically have to go on trial for that. And mostly women were accused and executed of that. So these are just some two pictures. There was one Salem village, and then the town of Salem. Salem village was more of the poor town, while as this town of Salem, they were, they had better wealth. As well as this picture up here, this is just a depiction of like what could have happened during that time period. So some key points from the readings and videos that I seen were that basically the authority equals power and what gets outlawed. So whoever's in power ultimately has that decision. Okay, are we gonna, execute these people because we think they're witches? So religious leaders also use their powers for whatever motive they were trying to accomplish. If they were trying to get rid of witchcraft, if they were trying to push this agenda, then they could use that religious power that they hold and ultimately use it for the good or the bad. Religion justified trials in Salem and Europe. Yes, so like I said before, it was said to be demonic. So through this, religion was like that gateway. Okay, we can do this, we can do that. So witchcraft was associated with being demonic. Yes, I got that from the readings and the videos. It was associated with being demonic, but there was also other things, just like with the religion aspect of it. They banished Christianity, or not Christianity, they stopped doing Christmas because they thought it was satanic. So just other things like that too. We could see throughout history how this has happened, and just kind of like inconsistencies with certain things. So women were accused more than men. Examples: the widow, poor women, and women who don't feel fit gender norms. So we see that there were men. I didn't know that men were also accused during the witch trials. I always thought it was just a woman thing, but women were disproportionately affected during this time, especially the marginalized. So we see widows, poor women, and women who don't typically fit into the gender roles. So widows and poor, they don't fit into the gender role. They don't fit into that role of society. You need a husband. If you can't have children, things like that. So the Enlightenment era started to resist religious justification of the witch trials, of saying, okay, maybe we can't do this. Maybe we shouldn't just accuse people and execute them. So that's kind of where we see that shift, and then it just like slows down and ultimately ends it. So for the analysis and conclusion, through the readings and videos, it is evident that Christianity and other dominant religions migrated, and through this is a negative consequence of power and control. Through the witch trials in Europe and Salem, it's evident how religion could get out of hand, causing mass persecution. It's quoted in the American Yap. It mentions that they did so largely through ruthless powers of expression of power, emphasizing how people are willing to do heinous acts for power and control. So I just took that from the American Yap, and it's just confirming what I've been saying in these slides about how they just were willing to do all these things. These events shaped So these events later shaped early colonization, later the United States, by showing the danger of religious extremism, as well as the separation between religion and government. We could see how that could get washy by eliminating when it's collided, you know, even if it's Christianity, if it's Muslim, it's Buddhism. We could see that if the morals don't collide, then there could be consequences, and it just kind of varies. So that's important, especially the importance of accusing people without evidence. It was back then, it was guilty until proved innocent. Now it's innocent until proven guilty. So that's a good change. Debates regarding the witch trials include how it was first initiated. Yes, through the videos, I've learned that it was kind of like, why did it kind of happen? We know how it was initiated with the two girls, but we don't really know, okay, like what made them think about that. So in the video 11 Myths about the Salem witch trials, it was quoted that 2 dogs were killed due to being accused of witchcraft. I did not know that dogs were part of the Salem witch trial killings. Yeah, I did not know that dogs got accused. So you kind of know it's going out of hand when they kill animals that don't have like a conscious. They're conscious, but they can't speak English. They can't, you know, do these things. They can't certainly do witchcraft. So it's just crazy to see how it was accused. That's my presentation. Thank you. Have a good day.